I wanted to give a huge value tip here that I personally think is worth multi-million dollars liquid. And this tip, what essentially it is make sure that within your organization, within your company, you have more services that you can offer people after they do that original service with you. Because if they're raving about your service, if they're loving it, and you have no other offers that you can give them, you're limiting yourself. Yeah, man, I really appreciate you having me. Congrats on all your success as well, Sam. I know you're killing it. It was also your birthday recently, so happy birthday, my brother.
Thanks, man.
And yeah, man, super excited to jump in and share some value.
Definitely. It's your birthday month I just saw recently as well, isn't it?
Yeah, July 29.
July 29.
Yeah, I'll be turning 23 years old.
Awesome, man. 23. Jeez, man. I'll tell you what, for a 23-year-old, you've definitely achieved some big things, man. So, look, let's dive straight into it. So, man, for people that don't know you, what would you describe it as that you do, and how do you help people?
What I do is I help people either grow from scratch to now having an audience on Instagram that they can leverage, monetize, and start generating money with their business or personal brand with. And I also have helped companies that are already on the stock market, on the NASDAQ. So anywhere from 7, 8, 9-figure, and even 10-figure entrepreneurs, I've been able to help their businesses as well. But I do help beginners and anyone starting out. And so we have helped over 7,500 clients in over 50 different industries as well. So we help every single industry that you can think of: mortgage brokers, dentists, small business, whatever it is, you name it. We can help you grow on social media and start getting more clients as well.
Wow, fantastic, man. That's a lot of clients that you've helped. So look, I want to deep dive into your story. How did you get started? I mean, like I said, you're very young, man, for to have the success that you've achieved. So how did this all start? You know, just walk us through, what age did you start, and why did you start so young?
So I actually got started being an entrepreneur at the age of 7 years old. So when I was 7, 8 years old, I already started cleaning shoes. And then when I turned 8 and 9, and then 10, 11, 12, 13, up until 13, I was buying shoes and reselling them to make a profit. And so that's what I was doing at a young age, which already gave me some business skills. I used to negotiate with people at that young age on Facebook, different Facebook groups that I would join where people were selling shoes, go to different sneaker conventions, even have my own tables for people in sneakers that know what that is. And I started doing that at a very, very young age. Then when I was about 14 to 16, 17, I started selling all the different tickets to all the different festivals happening in Miami, Rolling Loud, Ultra, and my own events as well that I would host. And then when I was 17, I was always one of the top soccer players in my school. So I was in great shape. And a lot of people would always ask me, how did you get in such amazing shape? I want to learn how. And through all my different business skills that I had developed in the past, I knew that I could turn this into a business very, very easily. And so that's what I went ahead and did. I used to provide the service with only a Google Docs. So this goes to show you, you don't need investments to start your business. I was never given $1 for any of my businesses. I started them all from scratch with $0. And so with this business, what I would do is I would provide a meal plan and a workout plan to people. Like I said, I would customize it on a Google Doc, have no cost, just my knowledge. And I sold this service for about $120. I then, before I even got to college and in my first 2 months of college, I had already done over $100,000 in profit with this business alone. And then what I realized was I made this business from scratch on Instagram. I grew it to over 30, 50,000 followers. I went to LA and I got professional content done by a top quality photographer and brought a model along. I had the best content for any, young entrepreneur with a workout and meal plan business. Everything looked elite and great. And because I did all of these things that led to having a successful business at the young age of 17 to over $100,000 in profit, I realized this was something that I could do for thousands of businesses around the world, and one day, hopefully, millions as well. So when I was 18 years old, I dropped out of school and I went to New York City, where I got my own apartment. I got my own office as well. I had employees that I was hiring. And that's when I started Grow With Us agency at 18 years old. I realized that with WOMP, I was able to transform a lot of people's lives with health. But now I wanted to transform people's lives with wealth, because if you don't have money, you can't even afford, the proper foods to eat. So it became my passion to help people generate more money, take people from scratch, and even businesses that need my services, up level as well. And so that's when I started Grow With Us agency. And so essentially that's where I'm at now. I've been running it for the last 5 years. And as I said, we've helped over 7,500 clients. And this is what we do to change people's lives every single day.
Yeah, man, it's quite a big impact you can have, because the power of social media in today's market is exponential. And if you aren't marketing yourself online, whether it's through Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, whichever platform it is that you choose, you are leaving money on the table essentially for your business. And I know with you guys, with what you do, because I know you've helped me personally as well with when I first got started in my ventures through personal branding and all the rest of it. And man, the impact that it has is quite significant, even just with things like the podcasting and, social media posting and your growth. It's kind of like an online CV, basically, especially Instagram. Like when people look at your page, it's what kind of credibility do you have as a person or as a business? So it is very, very important. And I do think that the majority of people to this very day aren't doing the best that they can possibly do in terms of their PR, their branding, their marketing, and things like that. So, what you guys do helps business and individuals, on quite a significant level. So what I wanted to get into with what you guys do and how you help people, if I was to, let's say, start a business from scratch and, let's just say I was a coach helping people with their business, but, I've been coaching for a couple of years, but in terms of social media, I haven't quite turned the dial on that yet, and I'm not quite sure where to start. How would someone go about growing their personal brand online that is just starting off from scratch?
Amazing question. So one of the main keys to building your business to over 6, 7, and 8 figures is client acquisition, right? Being able to attract and find clients and have a guaranteed system of how you bring these clients in every single month so you can actually generate your desired revenues and you aren't just hoping for these numbers. And so one of the main ways to get client acquisition is by driving people to your Instagram page. But let's take an example here. Let's say there's 2 pages that spend $1,000 per month to their Instagram page, be with Instagram ads. One page has under 100 followers, or let's say even under 1,000 or 2,000 followers. The other page has over anywhere from 25,000 or even as small as 15,000 to 100,000 followers. You're spending the same amount of money, $1,000. You're using the exact same targeting, but which page is getting better results? Which page is getting more people to check them out, follow them, and maybe even become a client, right? It's always going to be the page that has more credibility because there's so many different Instagram pages out there that people only want to follow who they think is in the top 1%, right? If you're not in the top 1% in your category or niche when they see your page for the first time, why are they going to follow you over all the thousands of people in your niche that are the top 1%? They're going to feel like they're going to learn the most from that person. And that's why anyone needs this service 100% guaranteed. Because if you're starting from scratch, as you asked, or even if you're a business that is established, if you're starting from scratch on Instagram, the reason why I mentioned client acquisition as the main one is because I just showed you an example that if you don't have this service before you start going out and doing client acquisition, you're actually burning money. Because if you're spending $1,000 a month on ads to a page that has no credibility versus spending it to a page that has a lot of credibility, you're going to get a way better return on your money spent. So the main thing that you want to do is you want to build out your online presence. You want to have the most elite Instagram you possibly can, following the steps that we do for you, starting with growing your following, growing your engagement, showing you how to have top tier content on your page, and then showing you different client acquisition models that you can do with us or do on yourself, because we give you a video training to every single one of our clients, no matter which package they get. They get a video training that we include with our service with over 75 plus videos showing you how to monetize, grow, and how to do everything that we offer as a service. You just have the option to do it with us if you don't want to take the time of doing it yourself. But essentially, once you have this amazing page and you start to do client acquisition services to get you new clients, you're going to be able to make money guaranteed because you have the exact keys and formulas that you need to see success on Instagram or any social media platform, because all of our services we offer on every social media platform as well.
Is there a particular, like when it comes to, let's just talk about the algorithm for a second, when it comes to, Instagram 2 years ago versus how it is today, how fast and evolving is the algorithm in terms of the type of content you should be posting and the type of, like, when you should post, how active your followers are? Like, how do you formulate like a content strategy for a business or a personal brand when it's constantly evolving so quickly?
Definitely. So the one thing that I would look at is, for those of you that have checked out TikTok, Obviously, a lot of people are growing on TikTok and they have, similar to Instagram Reels, that Reels format. And so Instagram is actively trying to compete with TikTok and make it that creators can get similar amount of exposure as some people are getting on TikTok. So definitely posting on Instagram Reels is a great option to post as much as you can on Reels, because they do have a lot of potential to go viral and get a lot of views that are organic and can bring you free leads to your page. So I would definitely recommend posting a lot on Instagram Reels. And you should also make a TikTok account if you don't have one, to post content organic on TikTok as well, because you never know if one can go viral, and you can attach your Instagram page to the TikTok page and people can find out about you for free there. So when it comes to posting in the algorithm, I would definitely pay attention to posting short form content on all different social media platforms. That's definitely your best bet if you want to grow organically on top of, everything else that you could be doing. And so that's kind of how I would set up that strategy. And then also, posting informational content, right? Always making sure that you're posting value. You're not just posting anything just to post it. It's good quality. You're using a professional camera or at least the latest iPhone for your content. And then essentially you should also be posting results, testimonials as well, because people are always going to see that when they check out your page and want to work with you.
And in terms of posting, do you recommend, because I know you look at the big guys, right, like the Hormozis and the Cardones, and those guys are posting hundreds if not thousands of pieces of content a week. How does someone from scratch start off? Because those guys are they'd be spending hundreds of thousands of dollars a week, I'd imagine, on content managers, content creation, and having people probably just following them around, document their life as they go around and do what they do in their businesses and their talking gigs. So how does someone starting off from scratch compete with that? Is there a certain content formula that you would recommend? Do you chop up long form content into 6 or 7 short form content pieces? Like, what is there some kind of content formula that you would recommend for people starting off?
Yeah, I definitely like the idea of being able to, create long form content, like jumping on podcasts and then turning those into short form. It's a great way to get, mass amount of content out there. Definitely. If you can have somebody filming you, right? I know you mentioned it being expensive and not everyone being able to afford that. You can always try to find maybe an intern or even turn them into a paid intern over time where they don't cost you so much, but they want the experience of working with somebody to have case studies. That's where you can do it, cost efficiently. But yeah, definitely be getting as much content as you can as possible, whether that's just B-roll, high quality lifestyle footage, and also, simply providing value and sharing more about what you do and different ways on how you can help your audience. I would definitely recommend doing that type of content. And then, yeah, was there anything about that question that you kind of wanted me to expand a little bit more?
Well, I guess for me...
Oh, I remember now. You wanted me to expand a little bit on how many times you should be posting. Yeah. So I want to give some value on that. So when you're somebody like Gary Vee, when you're somebody like Grant Cardone, you have the ability to post all day and people want to watch that all day. And the reason why is because they've already gained that credibility, that status, that love, right? They have a lot of fans. When you're starting from scratch, you probably don't have that. So there's 2 options to go about it. Number 1, I usually tell my clients, if you want to maximize that piece of content that you're posting, you don't want it to go to waste so quickly, and you're a new person on Instagram, you're just building your audience, maybe you only want to post once a day, or even sometimes in some cases every other day, simply because you don't want to burn out your audience because they haven't necessarily built that trust with you. And maybe if you're posting all the time and taking up their news feed, they're going to unfollow you. So that is a possibility. However, if you want to go a different route, okay, where similar to what Gary Vee teaches, which is post as much as you possibly can, I have nothing, wrong to say about that. I definitely think the more you post, the more opportunity you have to go viral. Most posts just won't do as well. They'll probably do worse than if you were posting once a day or every other day, because more people would have a chance to engage with them. Versus if you're posting so many different posts, it's harder for people to keep up and comment on each post. But if you're not worried about that and you just want one video to hit and go viral, definitely posting as much as you can every single day is a great strategy, because that'll just increase the chances and the opportunities of one video going viral.
Yeah, because I think, like, I've noticed it too with my content when, if I post every day for 4 or 5 days in a row, I notice that after the second day, the outreach starts to go down in comparison to if I waited 1 or 2 days and then posted again. I know that it does seem to drop off from my organic outreach in terms of my own personal followers. But especially with stories too. Like if I don't post for 24 hours and then I post a story after not posting for 24 hours, I know that the outreach instantly shoots up, by about 50-60% on average compared to what I post last time. So it's like that give and take, that push and pull a little bit. But as you said, like if you're posting shorts, I think with shorts, like there isn't really a number of which you can't post. I think with shorts, like, Instagram, with Reels or TikTok or YouTube shorts, like you should be posting as much as you can every day. Absolutely. I think with like the long form stuff like YouTube or if it's just a photo or a video on your Instagram page, blasting it every single day, your organic outreach is going to go down initially. But I think with the short form content, there is really no such thing as too much, because we're in an attention deficit right now with society. The average attention spans, I think, is like 2 or 3 seconds at the moment. So your TikTok basically shows you that.
Yeah, it's insane.
Yeah. So getting back to your...
Definitely. That's something that I wanted to touch up on as well. Yeah, I just wanted to touch up on the fact that, the attention span is so small. So that plays a key role in why you should build up your Instagram page with our company as well. Because when you get reposted, on somebody's story and people go and check out your page for the first time, their attention span is so small. So they're either going to swipe out and never find your page or look at your page again, or they're going to take a look at it and follow you, right? So the better your page looks, the higher chances you have for this. Another thing I would say is don't go out and spend your money with an influencer if you're a company. This is my recommendation, and pay them up front, because since users on Instagram have such a small attention span, you'll get a post with an influencer and their audience won't even look at it. It'll be 0.001% of people that follow you. If that, it's a very, very small number. So what I'd recommend is doing the services that we offer, which is we're actually messaging people directly. So there's a way higher conversion rate of those people actually buying or following your page because they're getting a direct message, versus just seeing a post on a story or a feed where people are just swiping through, not even paying attention, or just clicking through stories, 100 miles per hour, right? So those are some things I wanted to mention that are crucial to keep in mind.
Do you think that... I mean, look, I look at Facebook, right? And like, I don't even really use it anymore. Like, I don't check people's posts. I don't really look at my profile page in terms of what people are posting on Facebook. For me, I just don't even bother with it. It's YouTube and Instagram is where I spend most of my time. But do you think that Instagram is starting to lose a bit of credibility in terms of, do you think people are catching on now more in regards to what's fake versus what's real on Instagram? Because I mean, you look at like the blue tick, right? That used to be something that, had meaning and value to it. And now with the meta, you can literally pay for a subscription to get the blue tick on your profile. And I mean, for me, in my eye, like that used to mean something. And now it's every man and their dog has a blue tick against their name. So do you think Instagram is starting to, I guess, sell their soul in a way and it's losing some form of credibility?
I mean, definitely when you give that example of selling your soul, with this service that they provided, it was a little bit of them, trying to probably capitalize on their audience. There is competition with Elon Musk that did that in the first place. So obviously they saw it as a good opportunity to take advantage of. I think it also has, its use case as well when it comes to the real reason why they explained they did it, which was for all the fake scammer accounts. Now you can have a page that people know is not a scammer account. I also agree with you that obviously they are losing some of their credibility, or it's harder to identify who's credible or who's not. So just take my advice on it and don't look at that as a credible factor anymore, right? So if that was something that you used to have as a checkpoint of something you would see if somebody's credible or not, just take that out of your head, right? When you see someone that's verified, don't look at that to use it as a KPI of if they're credible, right? Simply look at other things, right? So look at how long they've been posting for. If their posts are, all made on the same day, that means it's a fake account. Or look through, see their content history, see if they have any testimonials that look real, check out their story highlights, right? Those are some of the things that I would look at. And another thing about why our service is so valuable is because now, if you think about it, as you just mentioned, if somebody has 2,000 followers and a blue check, you're not going to take that as something credible. But how people are going to measure credibility still now is through your followers, right? So if you have 2,000 followers in verified or 100,000 followers in verified, you're going to think that that person's more credible, right? Even if both of them are verified. So that's what comes into play now, right? Who has more followers, which is another reason why people should, invest in this service of building up your followers with real followers, engagement, and having that social presence, because verification obviously isn't a factor that people look at anymore.
Yeah, definitely. When it comes to, I guess, you building your business from scratch to where it is now, what do you think has been, I guess, the biggest factor in terms of you growing your business from just at the conception stage to, now having a 7-8 figure business that you're doing? What would you think was the biggest thing that helped you get your first clients and start to actually grow and move the needle in your business?
Definitely. So when it comes to getting my first clients, obviously, as I mentioned, I made sure that I built my personal brand. I had credibility. And by doing that and knowing how to get clients as well through our different client acquisition formulas, it was pretty easy for me to, get started and start getting clients. When it comes to starting from scratch, obviously, as I mentioned, for anyone that wants to start from scratch, you got to make sure that you build up your social presence first. If not, your time is simply going to be wasted. Another thing that's extremely crucial when it comes to growing your personal brand and growing your business is making sure that you have a team as well that you're going to be working with. If you do it all by yourself, you're going to be limited at how much money, your business can actually generate and grow to. So that's another key thing. And then when it comes to how I grew from scratch, to becoming an 8-figure business, this is a, perfect live example. So Sam was a client of mine, a few years ago, and today here we are, he's inviting me to speak on his podcast, clearly because I gave him a good customer experience. He saw that we do good business, we do what we promise. And that's one of the biggest keys that has taken my business to the next level, because a lot of people will, fall short at the beginning or fall short in the middle because they're providing a bad service, they're scamming people, they're getting lawsuits, right? Every single client that I've worked with, they want to be my friend to this day. 90% of our clients come back every single month for the last, 3+ years now consistently. So every single person that I work with is happy with the service. They have a great experience. I've never had any lawsuits come my way. And so this is how I've been able to scale the business to the next level. And it starts with delivering the best customer service and physical services that you're offering as possible. So those are the keys on, how to get started. And then that's another key on how to actually maintain and grow to the 8-figure level.
Yeah, I think customer service is a big thing. Like if people don't feel like you're adding value in your service or that you're just brushing them off as another client, then they will just think your service is shit. And it's all about the experience the client has too, from when they first speak to you to fulfillment of the service. If you can make sure the client is feeling valued the whole way through that journey of being from a lead to being a client to then fulfillment of the service, if they can feel like that you're going above and beyond, it's always, people say under promise, over deliver, but it's actually over promise and over deliver again on top of that. And if you have a client, you do that with them, you'll have clients for life. And if you do a good job, not only will they be a client for life, but they will rave about your service to other people, and they will recommend you till the cows come home to friends, family, colleagues, everybody. So, and I think it's a very, very important thing that, people do overlook, especially in the business and on the online space, because the online space, you got to have credibility. You got to be seen to have had a lot of testimonials and fulfilling client services or products. And, it takes 2 seconds to destroy reputation online, especially online, because people are looking for that.
Amazing. And I quickly want to add on to that. Yeah. I want to add on to that. And essentially, I wanted to give a huge value tip here that I personally think is worth multi-million dollars liquid. And this tip, what essentially it is make sure that within your organization, within your company, you have more services that you can offer people after they do that original service with you. Because if they're raving about your service, if they're loving it, and you have no other offers that you can give them, you're limiting yourself. But if you can have multiple higher tier packages that you continue to offer once you want to take them to the next level in whatever it is you do, you're going to get way more revenue for your company, because one person can give you over $50,000 or $100,000 if you have multiple services and packages. But if you only have one, you're limiting yourself. I've done mentorships with people doing 7 and even 8 figures, and I've cracked that code in their business. They only had one offer, so whenever they would sell someone, they could never sell them again. Changing that, now you can generate, like I said, multi-millions of dollars simply by adding that to your business.
Absolutely. I think having a tiered product system is very important. So, you know, you can start off with like a low ticket offer of, you know, whether it's a book or if it's a $100 course or some sort of, you know, free call that you give away, to then, you know, having like a high tiered product or service, and then even having a, you know, a mindset, you know, a mastermind program that people can go on and use. Like, I know mentors that I've had that have helped me, you know, along the way, and some of these guys sell, you know, masterminds from anywhere to 50 to 100 grand for their back end clients that have gone through 2 or 3, you know, low ticket, then mid ticket, then high ticket offers and services that they've gone, well, I've seen the value in this, I've already done it. So what else can I do with you guys? I want to keep growing. I want to keep doing the next thing, the next thing, the next thing. So if you don't have that, then yeah, as you said, you're leaving money on the table. So, but when it comes to social media now, where do you see socials going over the next 5-10 years? Because, you know, obviously TikTok's one of the newest players on the field, and that they've just exploded and grown exponentially, and it's now one of the most used platforms in the world. Where do you see social media going, you know, with the Meta coming out as well, and like, what do you see that holding for us over the next 5 to 10 years?
Yeah, I would say I'm somebody who, you know, I do think long term, but I also like to put most of my time, you know, in what I can control physically right now. So I would just say continue taking advantage of socials as much as you can. You never know what's going to change, what's going to evolve, what's going to happen. So in today's time, make sure that you're leveraging Instagram, you're posting as much as possible, you're working with a marketing company like myself that can guide you and make sure that you're doing everything properly and most efficiently to see success. I would also, you know, simply just, you know, hope for the best, right? Be optimistic, keep posting, think long term. Don't think, oh, something can happen to social, so I'm not going to be posting on it, right? Never do that. Focus on the moment and push as much as you can. Where I see it going, you know, as you mentioned, Meta is working on metaverse stuff. You know, let's see how that can be implemented in socials. TikTok, you know, is having issues in the US. Not so sure what's going to happen with that. I would just say continue to evolve. If there's new socials that you see millions of users are joining and they're very active, you know, get on there. Don't wait to get on there. A lot of people, when TikTok came around, maybe they were skeptical about it in the beginning and they didn't join till, you know, every single person and their mom was using it 3+ years later. So the earlier you are to something, you know, the better off you'll be. So I definitely would recommend starting early, you know, and if you missed out starting early on TikTok, use that as a lesson to always try to start early and take advantage of things and quickly evolve. Don't wait, you know, like I said, till everyone is doing it.
Yeah, absolutely. I think like you got to take advantage of what's going on in today's market. And as you said, you don't know what's going to change tomorrow, let alone 6 to 12 months time or even 5 years. So when it comes to posting, editing, all those kind of things, like obviously the apps like TikTok and Instagram, they have their own, you know, built-in tools that they use for editing and things like that. And I know that there's hundreds and hundreds of different tools that you can use to edit your videos or even your photos. Is there any that you would recommend to the audience in terms of with their posting for their content, whether it's to, you know, edit their videos or their photos? Is there any apps that stand out that you've used that, you know, just make life a lot easier?
Yeah, I would say Adobe's products are really good. So Adobe Premiere, Adobe Photo Express for editing content are really good. They may be a little bit more challenging to learn, but if you can learn those, you know, you can essentially do anything on those products. So yeah, definitely downloading all of Adobe's products. That's what I use and our company uses. So I would recommend that for sure.
Absolutely, man. And Dre, if people wanted to, you know, have a look at your services and look what you offer and provide, where can they find you?
So they can find our website with all of our services on GWUagency.com, and they can find me on Instagram at DREMEDICI, Dre Medici. So they can message me on Instagram, shoot me a message, please, if you're interested in anything. and they could check out our website and services on the website I listed as well.
Fantastic, man. Well, look, Dre, I just want to say a huge thank you, man, for coming on today and sharing your story, and also, providing some value on how to grow your personal branding on social media. Really appreciate it.
Definitely, man. Really appreciate you for having me, and let's have a killer rest of the year.
Absolutely, brother. Thank you, man.
All right, brother.